terrorist. Why? Because white folks, when we act in negative ways, whether it's crime, street crime, whether it's terrorism, whether it's drug use, whatever it is, our sins, our foibles, if you will, don't get racialized. And that's what the film tries to address, and what I think the George Zimmerman situation speaks to as well.
Comment comes in from Brooks Bain, says, Wise isn't white, he's Jewish. Trust me, he doesn't present a white paradigm.
Well, this is going to be fun, because since you have Jared and Matt on, we're going to get into a conversation, I'm sure, because white nationalists, including the one who's just sent you this, have a hard time, I guess, getting their head around the fact that whiteness is a social construct, not a genetic or biological reality. So am I Jewish? Yes. It's not like that's a secret. I've talked about that. Sometimes Nazis and white supremacists will say that like they're outing me.
Right. I don't know if Brooks Bain is a Nazi or a white supremacist.
Well,
I actually don't know who that is.
I will tell you that when people say he's not white, he's Jewish, it is usually the case that they're operating from a very narrow white nationalist perspective that believes, as Hitler did, that Jews are a biological subspecies, totally non-white, Asiatic subspecies bent on destroying the white race. Jared has people in his movement who feel that way. He tries to keep them in line because that's not the script he prefers, as I'm sure he'll tell you. But the reality is, I've talked about being Jewish. Being Jewish, however, does nothing to prevent the fact that in this society, I am racialized as white when I apply for jobs, when I'm walking down the street, when I'm trying to get a cab, like I'm going to get a cab when we leave here, right? I'm going to be able to do that. The cabbie may not like Jews, but he's not going to look at me and say, oh, Jew. He's going to look at me and say, white guy, not a black guy, I think I'll pick him up. We know that's how racial profiling works with taxi cabs. So I am Jewish because I was raised Jewish and because I have one parent who's Jewish and one grandparent who's Jewish. But I'm white because we live in a society where whiteness is not about your DNA, your genetics, your biology. It never was, just like blackness is not. It's about what you are viewed as by people in positions of authority. If employers, if cops, if bankers, if landlords look at me and see a white person and look at someone else and see a black person, that's what ends up mattering in this country. And that's why I talk about whiteness, because whiteness is what I receive in the culture.
We have an amazing hangout of people here. We have, again, Jared Taylor.